Let's talk about the upside, because as we know, you will never like again, guys, the day that our grandfathers and great grandfathers lived in, where they could go to a warehouse and spend 35 years screwing caps on the toothpaste tubes. They'll get a gold watch at retirement and they go home and get a pension. Everything's fine. They're gone. JOBs don't pay well for the most part. Yeah, that's the 90, 95% of them out there. There's a few small jobs that do pay quite well. I'll get into that right now. So there's really 6 paths to wealth, in my estimation. Get a pen and write these down. These are also going in the follow-up to my Unplugged Alpha book. So the next book that's coming out early next year, and an expanded chapter with more explanations, but I'm going to run them down for you here. The first is C-suite jobs. So let's talk about my mentor at the credit and collection company, who was the president of the company. I was assigned to him. I think he picked me, actually, if I'm not mistaken, because we had a managers meeting and everybody was assigned a mentor, and there was a mentor and mentees type of deal. And I would go to his office, top floor of the building, once a week for 2 hours on a Friday or something like that. And this was for like 8 or 9 weeks. It was awesome because I got to actually sit there with a guy that started out in an industry or similar industry that I was currently working in 25 years prior. So you have the understanding. You look there and there's a big room. There's a fucking telescope in the corner looking up at the sky. Massive fucking desk made out of mahogany or cherry or something. It's 27 feet wide and all that. Beautiful, setup. I don't know what they were comping the guy. I would imagine pretty close to 7 figures. And that was back in the day, which was quite a lot of money. And, genuinely nice guy, open to having the conversations. I'd ask him how he got started. What did he do? How did he get promoted? What does he see as my strengths and weaknesses? And he was asking me questions. We had a great rapport going back and forth. Enjoyed it. So this is one of the benefits that you can get if you're working a JOB. Look for opportunities within the organization to be useful. The big problem that I see most people do when it comes to corporations and trying to climb the corporate ladder and advancements and all this sort of thing, even in my world, as an entrepreneur, I get a lot of, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I buy you a coffee and pick your brain? No, motherfucker. I can buy my own coffee, and I'm going to sit there for 30 minutes while you ask me questions that I've already answered, probably in my book or videos or something like that, when I could be billing, $5,000 an hour for my time privately. When guys at this level hear, can I pick your brain? What they basically hear is, can I steal your time and pick your pocket? Right? Time is money. Time is valuable. So you want to look for opportunities within an organization. If you're in it with opportunity, with scale, hundreds of employees, for example, hey, is there a mentorship program? Can I get time with the vice president, with the president, with the regional whoever, with the whatever, so I can advance my career, right? You express interest in these things to the appropriate people, and they want to hear that from you, believe it or not. Like, I think when I was running my debt business, I think I had one guy, and I must have hired, I don't know, 60 or 70 people during that period of time. I had one guy out of the bunch that said to me, "Hey, Rich, can I work after hours? Because I come in the weekend. Is there something, that I can be doing that would be useful? So, I can get some mentorship from you," sort of thing. Not a lot of people think about this. And it's an exceptional way to get into the first role, which is a true path to wealth, which is a C-suite job. CEO, CFO, CTO, doesn't matter what it is, COO, anything chief something officer, right? Whether you're in finance, technology, whatever it happens to be, executive, C-suite jobs pay a lot of money. The larger the organization, with the greater the revenue, the more money you'll get paid. Now, it's a pyramid. There's one guy at the top, or if you take the top triangle of the pyramid, there's CEO, CFO, COO, CTO. There's like 4 or 5, let's say, main C-suite jobs. So there's 5 out of an organization that might have, 400 people that work for it, right? So it's very, very small. But those jobs are only available to the ones that put in the time and they do the work and they put in the extra hours and they ask the questions. How can I be useful? They over deliver. They bring more value to the company than anybody else. And it is known, it is obvious to all the powers that be that this is happening. Now, while you're doing this, by the way, you're lining their pockets with gold because you're working like fucking crazy. The extra time, you're asking questions, you're helping out other people. You're usually, at least 1.5 to 2 times more productive than the average employee in the company. I would say aim for at least 2 times, maybe 3 times more productive. You need to put yourself out there to make yourself known. Like, this is how you ascend into these positions. They just don't hand them out at the front door and go, "Oh, you're an entitled person, so let me give this to you," right? Doesn't work that way. Um, it's never gonna work that way. Even with quotas and agendas and all this other bullshit they got going on today, it's never gonna go that way. So that's the first one, C-suite jobs, true path to wealth, right? The next one is a licensed professional. Licensed professional could be, doctor, lawyer, accountant, licensed with, financial instruments, do loans, investments products, insurance, even real estate, to some degree, but that's more in like high ticket sales. But anything that's a licensed professional to perform a certain task with a governing body, like if you become a lawyer here in Ontario, you've got the Upper Canada Law Society that governs your practices. Doctors have a similar governing body, so all of these things exist. Um, they pay really well, like and an orthodontist, a dentist, like top tier, 500,000 to $700,000 a year. Could be a little bit more in the States, probably a little bit less in Canada. By the way, you get paid a lot less for professional jobs in Canada versus the States. So if you're considering a career with a professional designation, my advice is to move to the States. Find a way to get your ass south of the border and work in the States. The tax rate is lower and they pay a fuck ton more, and the cost of living is a lot lower in the States. So, public service announcement tip there. Next one. Um, I call this category people that command an audience. Okay, that can be an actor, a musician, an athlete, and even an influencer. As dorky as that sounds, but anybody that has the attention of an audience, and the greater the attention they have, the more they can get paid. So I don't know who the most famous person is on Instagram right now. I think at one point it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, or it bounced back and forth between him and Kim Kardashian, or maybe even Dan Bilzerian. I don't know, but any of these guys with a massive audience, they get sponsorship deals. It's easy for them to promote a movie. Like if they have a role for a film, they have the choice between Dwayne Johnson and an unknown name who's younger that has a following of, I don't know, 500,000 followers versus The Rock's, whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 million followers. They know that when the movie gets out for promotion, the people following him will see the promotion in his feed, sort of thing. So being able to command an audience can pay you a lot of money. Plus, you get paid for the movie, you get paid for the sponsorships, you get paid for any products you create, like a tequila brand, shoes that you endorse, whatever it happens to be. Same thing with athletes, right? Michael Jordan is rich as fuck because of his career, because he was getting the attention of a lot of people. There's Netflix specials on guys like this. Like, if you're a guy like Tyson Fury, David Beckham, Michael Jordan, like, not only do you have your sports career, you have your retirement career where you can now sell your stories for books, for films, and things like that. You get the point. If you have the attention of people, I mean, you lose privacy as one of the consequences of that. But if you have the attention of people, then you will get paid well, very, very well, in fact. There's some disadvantages to all of these, by the way, which I'll explain in a minute. But the next one would be high ticket sales, right? When I was a teenager, I used to work at a stereo store, and for every TV, DVD player system, surround sound setup, that would get set up or sold or whatever, I get paid a commission. And the commission was peanuts. It was like 100, like less than 200 bucks most of the time, per pay cycle. I made more money on the hourly rate than I did on the commission. But the notion of commission as it existed at the time, I didn't think about, oh, well, if I can sell something, then if I can sell a stereo or a set of speakers, why don't I fucking sell something that costs 5,000,000 or 10,000,000 or 50,000,000 or 100,000,000 or $1,000,000,000 because you get paid a percentage of that. I'm telling you this right now. High ticket sales pays very well. If you're selling private jets, if you're selling yachts, if you're selling expensive real estate, if that's the market you're gonna niche into, you'll get paid very, very well. They have these shows on Netflix where these annoying as hell women sell real estate in California. What's it called? Selling Sunset? Somebody tell me in the chat. And it's like, you'll see like the listing price and it's like the commission is $600,000. And it's like $600,000 is the commission rate on something that big and so grand. All you have to do is flip a few of those per year and you're set. You're making a few million bucks per year. It is a path to wealth. So if you're good at sales, sell shit that's expensive. Simple. Next one is STEM. Stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. You're a rocket engineer for Elon Musk. You're researching a cure for cancer, Neuralink, something, for Musk or one of his projects or, things like that. You can get paid very, very well. These are in the six figures for sure. Like I said earlier, I've talked to several guys on coaching consults that work for the FANG companies. It's interesting because these guys get paid really, really well, but they're so bad with women. They're so bad. They make $800,000-900,000 a year, and they just get screwed over by these chicks that run them, right? It's just, I don't know, man. If there was a way to get to these guys before they went and screwed up their life, they could save a lot of money. But anyway, these guys make 7, 8, $900,000 a year. Some of the comp plans can be well into seven figures, depending on stock share options and all that kind of stuff. But they get paid super well. And then the last one, which we'll get into in more detail next week on the next Unplugged Alpha, is entrepreneurship. And out of everything that I've mentioned, it continues to be my preferred path. And as every year goes by, I think the value of it being the preferred path increases dramatically. I'll give you one example right now. I think over the last few years, especially since the scamdemic and the beer bug and the wokeness and the BLM, the George Floyd, and all this, like all this stuff that's happening, companies are now, as a function of embracing and endorsing and virtue signaling to the world how inclusive they are and how much they love rainbows and people that cut off their body parts because they want to identify with whatever it is that they want to identify, and pronouns and all this stuff. People in these fields that I've been mentioning are being forced to comply with many of these agendas. So while you might make a lot of money as a doctor or an athlete, even like we've seen athletes um, scrap with management, with the team, over forced, clot shots, not wanting to take it versus taking it and losing work. Um, that's not forced upon you as an entrepreneur, especially if you set up a business the way that I describe in the School of Entrepreneurship, where you have the ability to maneuver. It's easy, it's lucrative, it's fun. You can run it from anywhere in the world. There's no employees that are required the way that you structure it. When you set it up properly and you've contemplated all these things in the design and engineering of what you're building, you have something that is very profitable, very fun, very maneuverable, can be dealt with from anywhere in the world. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.